Yo, what's going on, Planet S.O.N family? It's your main man, JD. Thank you for tuning in. This is Drinks with JD. All right, ready, legend? All right, my main man, Mr. Lil One.
What's up, my bro?
Thank you so much, my brother, for being here on Drinks with JD. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
No doubt, no doubt. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your time.
It's all love, man.
No doubt. So, since it's our first time sitting down together, can you please introduce yourself to the Planet S.O.N audience? Can you please let them know who you are, where you're from, and what you do?
Well, my name is Reyes. People know me as Uno, the Boogeyman, Mr. Lil One. I'm from San Diego, and I'm a galaxy dweller.
No doubt, no doubt. All right, man. So, you recently released your latest album, Decade 2.0.
Right.
This is one of my favorite projects out of your entire discography.
Thank you.
How do you think this project stands out compared to your entire discography?
That's where I'm at in my life. You know, where I'm at in my life, the recording process was a lot different, you know, than where I was other times. You know, I think when you create symbiosis with what you do, it speaks for itself. You know, somewhere along the line, after, you know, you get in the game and you start recording, you know, you get caught up in the fame and all of that stuff, and you don't record for passion anymore. You record for other reasons. Let me get this bread, or let me get this song on the radio, or let me go do this and that.
Yes.
So at this point of my life, I'm completely liberated. I'm a free spirit. I have no binds. I have no entanglements. I have nothing tethered. No labels, no distributors, nothing, you know. So I went and I recorded this album under a liberated state, you know, so it was effortless.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
No, yeah, and you could tell how distinct it is, and just the growth overall.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's one of my favorite ones.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So since 1996, you know, until all the way to today, right? You've given us complete albums, right? Where you show your diversity, right? You could slow down your cadence, you could speed it up, you could story tell. You also recreate classic oldies,
right?
And obviously it can't be a Mr. Lil One album if you don't give us that classic spooky sound.
Yeah.
Right? Can you tell us how important to you is it to show your diversity in all your projects?
To be completely honest with you, it's not something that I consciously do.
Oh, wow.
It's like, it's just a part of who I am. Okay. Like, I don't go in there with a game plan of, I have to do it like this. I usually go into the studio with no idea what I'm going to do.
Wow.
Every song that you heard here was created and written on the spot.
Wow.
And usually, I have a really creative, theatrical, cinematic mind. So when I go to the studio and like it's showtime,
yes, it
just goes. Wow. So within 20 minutes, usually the beat's done. Okay. So when the beat is done, I just write.
Yes.
And the rest takes care of itself. Like, it really is effortless like that. Like, I've had artists come to the studio sessions and like they can't believe it.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's like it's just experience. Because I've been musically, you know, when God was like making me, like there was music in the background, you know what I'm saying? And
yeah, for sure.
So it's a part of who I am.
No doubt.
But, you know, I do believe that it's really important that as an artist that you create your own sound and that you have your own element, and that, you know, you make sure that you are original, even if you get, you know, inspiration from another artist or inspiration from something else. I really think that it is important that you create your own self.
That's right.
And that you create your own sound, you know. So when I started recording all the way from Once in a Decade, I never wanted to be the traditional person. Like, you know, even when I was in school, in the early grades, you know, I always had questions. It was always important to me to, instead of say things like, you know, I'm wanted by the police and I'm really tired, I would say like, I'm a fugitive on the run and I'm exhausted. You know what I mean?
For sure, yes.
So I listened to a lot of East Coast hip hop. when I was growing up, you know, Curtis Blow, Beastie Boys, Run DMC, LL Cool J.
Yeah.
that type of stuff. So, you know, in my element and in my, you know, vicinity, that wasn't really embraced. You know what I'm saying?
That's right, yeah.
But it didn't matter to me. Like I never dealt with barriers that really that consumed me. I went through the barriers.
Yeah.
Like at all times, it didn't matter what anybody said or what anybody thought or what anybody would say. Like if I felt that that's what I wanted to do, I would do it.
No doubt. Yeah, no, especially since we're San Diegans. I mean, I'm a fellow San Diegan myself, and I could totally understand that, you know, we could get trapped in a bubble of San Diego, and sometimes we get trapped in it. And I completely understand what you're saying.
I was never a believer in that. Like I'm a huge believer that geographics never matter.
No doubt.
Geographically should never matter. Like
right.
Because you are you.
That's right.
No matter where you go.
That's right.
You know, like I could go to any studio on the planet and do what I do. It doesn't matter if I'm here, if I'm in Mex, if I'm in Utah, if I'm in Ecuador, if I'm in Spain, because you are the product. You know what I'm saying? Like a movie director.
Yes.
He's gonna direct that movie anywhere in the world, and his vision is gonna come to light.
That's right.
The reason why we get pigeonholed or we get bottled up is because of the data, the narrative.
That's right. That's right in front of us.
Yeah, the conditioning.
Yeah.
Like we are like contaminated since we're really young. Like people put that in our brain. Like you're not supposed to do this.
That's right. And then they put the fears on you, and then sometimes that could set you back as you continue to grow.
It sets you back because you know we don't engage with the things that are supposed to get us ahead.
That's right.
They're like they set us up to fail since we're really young.
That's
you know.
Right. And well, I guess to touch on that, also I believe that a part of maturing is you unlearn what you were taught growing up. You have to unlearn and then learn it correctly, and just learn it to grow. You know, that's just a part of maturity. But I completely understand where the diversity in your music comes from, because you're not trapped in the bubble.
Yeah.
No doubt.
I mean, I think you made a great point as far as the learning part.
Yes.
You know, one of the greatest elements of growth is unlearning and relearning.
That's right.
But it takes courage to do that.
That's right. Of course.
It takes a lot of courage because you have to abandon things that you were told you are.
That's right.
A lot of people that were in leadership positions were not good leaders.
That's right.
The people that were put in position to take care of us didn't take care of us. You know, like you have to remember, even in school, something as, you know, because we talked about conditioning and narrative and data and what we register, like the only thing that is an actual fact is that we register, but it's not a fact that what we register is a fact.
I know. I totally understand.
You know what I'm saying?
I totally understand.
So, you know, a lot of people, because a teacher said so, they're absolute.
That's right.
You know,
I
got kicked out of catechism. I got kicked out of schools and all of that because I'd be like, well, how do I even know that what you're saying is true?
No doubt. Well, fortunately, you think this way because in the end, your fans, like including myself, you know, we see it through your music, and we're able to just watch how diverse you are.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
And thank you for that. Thank you for allowing us to see your way of thinking, and that's pretty awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, I mean, and more than anything, I mean, I was just at the radio station, and you know, it's really important that artists have the courage to engage with what they have in their head instead of trying to do what is out right now. Like creative art, the greatest creative art comes from uncertainty.
No doubt. That makes sense.
It really does.
Yeah.
Like Elton John didn't exist at some point.
Yes.
There's only one Elton John.
That's right.
Prince, there's only one Prince.
Right.
The Beatles, there's only one group of the Beatles.
Yeah.
Jimi Hendrix, you know, Adele.
Yeah. And they're all artists in their own right, just like yourself.
In their own right, you know, and I've always, like, I never thought that I was greater than anybody, but I'm very confident in what I do.
But fortunately, because you are different and you're able to create your own art, that's how you stand out. You know how they say, don't be the next little one, be the next you.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, well, we don't need another little one. We have the legendary little one. Why do we need another one? Like, go do you. But I completely understand, Legend. You mind if we take it back to your
let's go. Yeah.
So on your album, you have well, it's made out of 13 songs, right? What's your top 3 favorite tracks on the album?
I don't look at music like that.
Oh wow. Okay.
I look at it as a whole.
Okay. Fair enough.
I look
enough.
at it like a pair
All
of
right.
pants.
Okay.
Like there's not a area of my pants that I like more than the other.
Okay, completely understand. No doubt, no doubt. All right, so amongst your music catalog, right? Like I said, from 1996 with your debut album, all the way to today, you have a trilogy, and it's called the Once in a Decade trilogy, right? So you have part 1, which was your debut album, and then you also dropped Once in a Decade part 2,
Right.
and then Once in a Decade part 3, right? And those albums were released within a 20-year span, And so I was wondering, now we have Decade 2.0, right? So this is a 2-part question. Now, since the name Decade, does that mean that it's included with the trilogy? Or since it has a 2.0, does that mean that it's separated, but it's bigger and better than the trilogy?
It's a little bit of both.
Okay.
Because it's still me. It's just the best version of me.
Yes.
So because it all started with Decade is why I do that, because I think if anybody that's in the game ever hears the phrase once in a decade, they'll connect it to me.
Of course.
So when I say decade, I'm referring to the foundation of where it came from.
No doubt.
And in this current existence at this very moment, I'm at my best state.
Yeah.
I may be better next year, and I may do Decade 3.0. Who knows?
Yes. No doubt, no doubt. Now, saying that, can we expect another trilogy?
I don't know.
Okay. Fair enough.
I don't plan stuff.
Okay.
It just happens.
No doubt, no
doubt. I don't say the only thing that I do plan, because I stay in the present moment.
Yes.
I plan how I can engage and how I could reach my audience on an intimate basis.
Yes.
So because there's things that are chronological, right?
Yes.
And then there's things that are psychological.
Yes.
So the chronological stuff is like timing. So I'll be like, okay, so on March this date, I'm gonna do this. But on the psychological standpoint, I just stay free.
No doubt.
I don't say next year I'm gonna do this. If I feel like it, I go do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
That's it.
Okay. So I noticed that you had Adi, Mr. Shadow, and Fitness on the record. How important to you was it to have them on the record?
Well, that's Adi's somebody that I've been trying to develop for quite some time, and I just think she, stands out on another level. You know.
Yes.
So it just seemed to fit. Once Upon a Time was recorded 3.5 years ago.
Wow.
But it fit.
Yes.
This. Remember how I told you I look at it like one?
Yes.
So it fit there.
No doubt.
So when it's sealed and it's done and it's out, that's where it was supposed to be.
Yes.
And Shadows, we're like peanut butter and jelly.
Of course.
We're like Red Man and Method Man, and Fitness is my boy too, and I wanted to give him some light. Fitness is really, really underrated. We haven't had an opportunity to put his stuff out yet. But when it does come out, people are going to be able to see how dope he is. I was trying to get Diggy on there, but Diggy didn't get on. His creative juices were at a block at that time.
No doubt. But fortunately, you shouted him out, so that's a good.
Yeah,
thing.
Diggy's my brother. Yeah,
of course,
Diggy's my brother for sure.
Yeah. So okay, you know what? Let's stay on the artist, right? On the artist topic. So you have Adi and Young Diggy. You have helped them from the past, and you're currently still helping them. They've been on plenty of on your albums, but it's nothing new to our kind legend, because you've also in the past have created compilation albums, right, where you use your star and you shine light on less known artists, right? And well, my question is, can you tell us how important it is, or why it's important to you to help and shine light on less known artists?
Well, I think when we're all in the same ball game, it's okay to be like, hey, let's play ball over here too. And that has been a blessing and a curse, to be honest with you. I think if you've noticed, in the recent years, I've evolved, but I've also limited my affiliation. you know, because those type of things end up hurting you sometimes.
Okay.
So I'll tell you two sides of it.
Okay.
The first side of it is that, you know, at first it was like, let's make music, cool. I'm gonna put you on my platform, come to the studio, and we would work. Now, my solo albums do 100 times more than compilation albums, right?
Yes.
So when you put somebody on the map and then people are asking them for a picture and asking them for an autograph, now they feel that they deserve to be, where's my money? Where's my this? Where's my that? When I've actually taken losses off compilations with the distributors.
Yes.
You know, like they ship out 5,000 units at that time, you know, and we're responsible for field liability. So it's been like, hey, your The Streets album did 22,000. Your Keep It Clean one is at 3,000, but we shipped out 5. So I'm like, I brought you to the studio.
Yes.
I pay for the music.
Yes.
I pay for the beats. You know, I'm paying co-ops for the distribution. I'm doing this for free. I'm giving you exposure, and I owe you some money?
That's right. That's right.
How does that make any sense?
Yeah.
And because there's, you know, it's the music business. So when that stuff started getting in the way, I kind of pushed myself back from that. So what I've done recently is I've told the artist, if you want to get on this compilation, it costs this much. So they cover the co-op from a distributor instead of me.
Makes sense.
So I don't take any losses.
Yes.
You still get the exposure, but this time you're going to cover this and I'm not going to take a loss.
That's right.
You know, so again, you know, the only one that ever stayed loyal to me from day one was Diggy.
Young Diggy. No doubt.
You know what I mean? It was never about that. So, you know, I'm very, very, very conscious of doing that type of stuff, you know. And again, you know, I won't say any names, but some in the recent, you know, years, somebody reached me and like, you know, remember, you know, I did this song and I'm like, that was like 15 years ago.
No doubt.
Like,
No
what
doubt.
stopped you from having a career?
Yes, yes, yes.
Like if I'm the one that created that barrier for you, you've had 15 years
Yes.
to make a career out of yourself.
Makes sense.
What happened?
Yeah.
And what, you know, I think what happens is that their real shine came from me,
No doubt.
and then they were never able to get it on their own.
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying?
No, completely understand. So can you touch about the other side with the awesome young Diggy, how he appreciates everything, well, just I guess being your brother as well.
Yeah, me and Diggy became brothers.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, Diggy was like driving down the street one day when I was walking with my daughter.
Yes, yes.
So he made a U-turn and he was just a kid, you know, he had the rag hanging.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, you're little one, right? I'm like, yeah. He's like, you know, I spit. And I'm like, let me see. And he's like, no problem. And then he just started hitting me with bars, you know, and I was like, oh, man, you know.
Yeah,
So
and to this day, right? To this day.
Yeah, no, but he started
still
hitting
be
me
doing
with
it.
bars so young, you
Yeah.
know. And he was very well spoken. Like, he
Yeah.
was like a poet, you know. So I told him, hey, look, I'm going to finish up this album,
Yes.
Karma.
Yes.
When I get on my other stuff, I'll get at you. So I get at him, and then I would go pick him up, just like the movies, and he'd be in his crowd drinking 40s, and I'd be like, you, come here.
Yeah.
And he'd get in the car, you know, so we went to the studio, we recorded Dead.
That's what I'm talking about.
That
Okay.
was his first song.
Yeah.
And from there, we just developed a brotherhood.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we just became brothers, you know what I mean? And it went beyond music. You know, I saw him through his darkness. He saw me through my darkness.
right.
I saw him become a father. He saw him, you know
That's
what I mean?
what I'm talking about,
And that's how it all just developed, you know what I mean? But it never was about anything else other than brotherhood.
And he still shouting him out, you know, back in 9-6, me and
And it's
Diggy
the
in the
truth.
bucket. Yeah.
It's the absolute truth.
right,
You know
that's
what I mean? That's exactly how it went down. And
That's
I
what
mean,
I'm talking about.
till this day, he's one of the greatest. You know what I mean?
Shout out to Young
Shout
Diggy.
out to Young Diggy, the
Right.
great.
There you go. All right, so I noticed that you're making a video for every track on the album. Why take that approach?
Oh, because it's something that we never did before.
Okay.
You know, so I'm gonna give the project its respect.
Yes.
You know, if I took the time
Yes.
to go record these songs in audio, I'm gonna go record visuals for them too.
That's right.
Because this project is like my child.
Yes.
So every time I do a visual, I'm nurturing it. You know, so from here on out, whatever I do is gonna have a visual.
Oh yeah. Well, hey, they're pretty awesome. The ones that you released so far, and yeah, that's a awesome approach, and I'm thankful as a fan that you're doing that as well.
Thank you.
But so speaking about music videos, I noticed that a couple years ago, you made a video for one of your most popular songs, right? And this song is "Suicide Homicide," and it was released in 1996, right? Your debut album. Now, like I said, it's one of your most popular songs. And did the popularity of the song persuade you to make a music video almost 20 years later?
I actually want to do a whole bunch of videos to like my old songs.
Yes, okay.
To like Boogeyman, I want to redo that.
Yes.
I want to do one to They Called Him Little One.
Yes.
I want to do one to Mr. Little One. I want to do that. I want to do, you know, Gotta Go Commit the Murder, Rap Devils. I want to do all of that.
That'll be amazing.
You know, and you know, and I'm going to.
Yeah.
You know, but like
That's what I'm
right now,
about.
like the focus is there. But yeah, I mean, you know,
Okay.
that was, I mean, the way that all that happened with homicide, suicide is because I used to work for the coroner's office when I was 18 years old.
Yes.
So I used to pick up dead bodies. You know, some of them were homicides and some of them were suicides.
Yes.
And in the midst of that, I was writing. So it'd be like, now this could have been what? Homicide.
Yeah.
Or maybe this could have been suicide.
For
That's
sure.
where that came from.
Yes.
So it never left. You know what I'm saying? So when I went and did the video for it, I'm like, well, I'm just going to go with the first one. You know what I mean? Because that was the first one.
Of course. That's a classic
It
record,
becomes
so.
timeless.
For sure.
You know, it becomes timeless.
That's
you know?
right. That's right. Well, speaking about classic records, since I have you in my presence, I guess, I really want to ask you about my favorite record.
Yeah.
That you've made, and it's a song with you and Mr. Shadow. It's called "Excited."
Yeah.
And you know, I love this. I love this record. I grew up with it. You know, and I wanted to ask you, at the moment when you guys created it, back in '98. Well, because technically it's a Mr. Shadow song because it's on his debut album. But when you guys created it, why didn't it get a video? And also, since we're talking about it, would you guys probably give that fan favorite song? Would you guys give it a visual? Maybe.
Oh yeah.
Soon? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You know, I talk to Shadow about that on a daily basis. You know, that we need to get up there and we need to do some visuals for that. And that song is a crazy story. If you want to hear it, I'll tell you.
Please do.
So I was watching Saved by the Bell like a week before that.
Yeah.
And, you know, there was an episode
Kelly
where she was doing pills.
Okay.
And so he was trying to calm her down and she started singing, "I'm so excited," right?
Yeah.
And I just can't fight it, right?
Yeah,
so Shadow comes to the house with the beat, and as soon as it started, I'm like, "I'm so excited," and then the other stuff.
Of course.
And that's how that happened.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So we wrote the song on the spot, and
Yes.
then we went and we recorded it, and the rest is history, you know.
Wow, that's what I'm talking about.
So shout out to Saved by the Bell,
right? Zach Morris, right?
Yeah.
AC Slater, right? San Diegan, right? Okay, so you know what? That actually brings me to my next question because I noticed that that record, right? Excited. You guys have an Excited Part 2, and it's also on Mr. Shadow's debut album, right? And I'm only assuming that when you guys created Excited, Part 1, that you guys knew that it was something special. And the reason why I say that is because there's a Part 2. And I guess my question is, when you recorded it and you heard Excited Part 1, did you know it was an instant classic?
No.
Okay.
None of them.
Okay.
Till later.
Yeah.
Like, that's why there's so many of those songs, though.
Yes.
If you really think about it.
Yes.
There's so many songs like that. And no, we never thought like this is a hit or this. It was effortless.
Yes.
And it still is.
Yeah.
One of these days I'm going to invite you to the studio.
Oh, that'll be amazing.
And like even like Smile Now, You Can Go and Cry Later. Of course. That was on the spot, you know. Sometimes people ask me if I like horror movies. I say, I'm the horror. Like,
of course.
That's like I talk like that. You know, like I'm a theatrical person. You know what I mean?
No.
But now, you know, the only reason we did Part 2 later was because the popularity it gained over the years, you know. I never really liked part 2 too much. So,
Okay.
you know, we probably got to get a part 3 in there.
Okay,
You
yes,
know?
that would be amazing.
Now, right now, you know, yeah.
No doubt, no doubt. Okay, well, I guess staying. I guess one more question on Excited. So, Little Weirdo, right? I'm sure you heard of him. And for the audience members who don't know, Little Weirdo is a popular San Diego artist, but he's from the new generation, right? On his Instagram, he shared a song where he sampled Excited, right? Excited Part 1.
Yeah.
And my question is, how does it feel to be embraced, appreciated, and loved by the new music artists?
I know Weirdo, and I got a lot of love for Weirdo.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
he's a good dude. You know what I
Yes.
mean? I've talked to him outside of music, and I got a lot of love and respect for him. And yeah, he sent it to me. He was showing me, you know,
Yeah.
but it feels good, you know, like
It's amazing.
those songs are like, even now, like when I went to go do my show, like they like the new album, but they don't want to hear that. They
Yeah.
want to hear the, you know,
The old
they
stuff
want to
as
hear
well.
all the old stuff. Like if I go see Zap,
Yeah.
I don't want to hear their new stuff.
That's right,
I want to
that's
hear
right.
more bounce to the house.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Some computer love.
Yeah, Computer Love, Heartbreaker, all
That's
of that,
right,
you
that's
know?
right.
So, you know, I one of the things that I do appreciate and that I'm grateful for is that a lot of those songs and a lot of those albums, you know, they just went through the generational, you know, element. And,
Yes.
and, you know, there's people that are like, weren't even born when those songs came out.
That's right.
And they're still banging them out in the backyard, you
That's
know?
right. That's right.
So I'm grateful for that. You know, it
That's what I'm
feels
talking
good.
about.
You know, shout out to Little Weirdo. Keep your head up, dog.
No doubt. Do you ever take time to reflect on your accomplishments in hip hop?
No,
Okay. No doubt.
I don't look at them as accomplishments.
Okay.
I reflect and look at what I need to improve as a human being,
No doubt.
because that's where everything stems from.
Yeah. That's right.
Like the music is secondary.
Yes.
Who you are is primary.
That makes sense because the art that you're making, it comes from you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So,
I completely
like-
understand.
The music is like over here, and who you are is here.
No doubt.
That's why I don't like a lot of my early albums.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Completely understand. Because like we were talking about, I mean, we totally see the growth. So I completely understand. So okay. So let's take it back to the record, I guess. Now track number 9, right? Another Time. It's actually my favorite song on the album, and I actually consider it like a summer anthem, right? And I can't wait to be on the beach and listen to it. I mean, I'm still listening to it now, but hey, it's springtime. But I know I'm gonna enjoy it on the beach. When you were recording it, did you want to give it that feel, that summertime vibe?
It just happened.
Okay. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, yeah, that's exactly what you've been saying, right?
It really did
No doubt,
just
no doubt.
happen. Like it was like, okay, what do we do? All right.
Yeah.
And then it was like, because that's what I do.
Yes.
Like I'll go in the studio and I'll be like, he's like, what do you hear? And I'll be like, how about tum 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 tum? So he goes tum 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 tum. Okay, put a drum beat. Tum 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 tum. And I'm like, okay, let's get the choir.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Boom. Let's put a worm. Woo, woo. Okay, let's do a dark piano. Boom, boom, boom. Then it's done.
No doubt.
And then it's sequenced, 12 bars,
Yeah.
bridge, and then I write.
Yeah. No doubt. And boom, summer anthem. Right?
And that's how it goes, yeah.
Okay,
You know, but
okay.
that time I just had, I just tell Adi like, hey, why don't you come by, see if we come up with something. Okay. So it was, in my head I had dun 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 dun. So then the words just come out like, take me back to another time.
For
And
sure.
I said the world's cold, but it ain't that cold. You know, I like to like change the tone. You know what I mean?
No doubt, no doubt. Yeah, no, and I love that song. Like I said, it's
It's a great song. I bang it out too. You know.
No doubt. So you know what? I guess I also want to talk about track 10, right? It's okay. You start this song, like for me, it's a deep song, right? It's deep rooted. Like you start with saying, I'm walking how I talk it, no longer in the darkness. I'm solid and I'm pure, right? And then during the track, you drop gems and you show your growth, maturity, and you show your vulnerable side. You know, you even end it with repeating, I'm shining at my best now.
Yeah.
You know, I'm shining at my best now, you know? And I was wondering, how important is mental health to you, And also, how important is your peace? Because like I said, you know, you show your growth, your maturity, your vulnerability, you know, and hey, you're shining at your best now. You know, so how important is your mental health and your peace to you?
Well, at this point in my life, it's primary. I think that's a great question. I think I would encourage you to ask that question to more artists that come by.
Yes.
Because that's probably at the end of their list. At this point in my life, mental health is everything to me. I start my day the same way every day. I wake up in the morning, I take a shower, I read for an hour, I train for 2 hours, then I eat, then I start my day.
Yes.
So by the time that I start my day, I already fed my mind, my body, and my spirit. You know, and the reason why I read and the reason why I nurture my mind and my spirit is because of the dangers. And now you don't have to be in the rap game, just in the dangers of humanity and society. You know, I was a toxic person. I was a destructive person. And it's not until the catastrophe becomes the dominant factor in your life and you just become a catastrophic person.
Yes.
So your peace is far away from you.
Yes,
your peace almost feels like it's in another galaxy.
That's right.
It's kind of like an obese person imagining himself as a fit person. Like the journey for me to get to being fit is going to be long, hard, and almost impossible.
That's right.
But it's possible.
No doubt.
So you just have to go through the slime.
That's right.
Because the reward in the end is beyond any type of monetary gain you can have.
Amen. That's right.
Your personal freedom and your liberation and your peace and your tranquility. A lot of people have no idea what that feels like.
That's right.
If you listen to most people, they say things along the lines like, you know, at the end of my life, I just want peace. Well, if you get peace at the end of your life, then you're going to rest in that peace and not live in that peace. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
I lived a lot of years with a sunburn on my soul. Now I live with a suntan on my spirit.
That's what I'm talking about.
You know, how you use the sun is up to you.
That's right.
So mental health is a serious business.
That's right.
With your children, with your peers, with your relationships, with yourself. You know, and you know, even in the midst of my growth, even in the midst of my journey, you get challenged. You can cheat on a lot of things, but you can never cheat on your growth.
That's right.
It's impossible.
That's right.
The only thing you can do is lie to yourself. But it is impossible for you to cheat your growth.
Of course, of course. There's a saying that people love to use. They say, real recognizes real, right? But I like to twist it around and say, healed recognize healed.
Oh, that's dope.
You know? And during my journey...
That's dope.
Like during my journey of healing, I know that the JD of 5 years ago will be so proud of the JD who I am today, of course.
Yeah.
And now I could recognize that 10 years ago, I didn't properly love myself. Right. So for yourself, right, judging from your records, right, you can see your emotional growth. And also looking at your old album covers, you can see that you're aging like wine. So
Diggy says I'm Benjamin Button.
Exactly. That's exactly it. But like I said, it comes from the healed. I recognize your healing journey. Right. So my question is, how proud are you of yourself for finding that clarity?
I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of myself. And you know, another great question, by the way, because there was a lot of times in my life where I attained a lot of things, but it was easy. It wasn't through hard work. Your healing comes from your deepest vulnerability.
That's right.
From your deepest darkness, from your deepest wounds, from your deepest pain. So we have to turn our pain into actual purpose. It's like being stranded in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea and being conscious of it and making your way to land and you got to go through the orcas, through the sharks, through the eels, through the jellyfish, through the murky waters, but you
have to acknowledge it.
But you have to acknowledge it. And, you know, it's funny the way that life works, because in the midst of your healing, there are times you think you're healed. I'm sure you went through that.
Of course, yeah, of course.
You know, and then you have these setbacks.
Yes.
To me, a regression it was so bad for me because, you know, when I would find myself behaving or speaking like I did before, I would abandon the reality of why am I doing this and focus on that. For example, a lot of people ask, why this? Why, instead of how could I move from this?
That's right.
And I'm talking about people that you engage with, because there's still particles of us that are unhealed when we're growing. That's right. So when we start, you know, engaging with those broken particles of us while we're healing, it's like a relapse. If I haven't drank in years, you know, like you said, like I live my life differently. Like I got myself in shape. That's right. I eat right. And I feel the rewards of that, you know, so the healing part is probably the most important, beautiful thing that we can give ourselves as human beings. Amen. That's true. Because if you are healed, then you're liberated. And if you're liberated, you're unbinded. And if you are unbinded, then you're infinite. You know, the reason why my podcast is called The Telescope Room is because envy and greed and judgment and you know, toxicity, they all look at you through the microscope. That's right. And love and purity and bliss and joy is through the telescope. That's right. That's right. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I applaud you, and you should be very proud of yourself for engaging in your journey and doing everything for you to excavate and emotionally and mentally purge. Yes. Because it is just important for humanity. Yes. Everybody's always talking about living in a peaceful world, and they're not willing to do the work to become more peaceful people. We can't have a more peaceful world without more peaceful people. That's right. In order to do that, you have to engage with peace.
That's right. And this isn't, I guess, on my list of questions, but you reminded me of an Instagram post that you posted the other day, how, because I know for myself, my journey of healing also started when, well, first obviously acknowledging it, but when I became a father. And and I wanted to be the best version of myself, so my baby could benefit from birth, you know, and all through her entire life until I'm gone. Right. You know, and you posted something on your Instagram where you said that your kids will benefit if you're the best version of yourself. Yeah. So that was pretty dope to see, and hey, like I said, you know,
you were able to relate to that.
Exactly.
Because that was something that made you activate your journey.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, and you know, I have the greatest relationship I've ever had in my entire life.
That's right.
With my children now.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, and healed, recognized, healed.
Yes, and, dope. I gotta get a shirt.
No doubt. Yeah. There you go. There you go. All right, legend. So at your first concert to promote your album, you took your time, or you took the time to pause the show and pay homage and show love to the late great Mr. Knighowl. Yeah. Can you speak some kind words and just by saying, you know, what he personally meant to you, and also what he meant to hip hop?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we go back a long time. You know, he was somebody that put me on. You know, he took me to the studio for the first time. You know, he showed me a lot of the ropes. He showed me about syllables and how to be able to rap to like oldies, like, well, it's Loked Out, Lil One, and I'm coming all up in here, blast, and which is reminiscent and synonymous to bring them all around, say you want to battle me, do you want to get down? That's right. Like he taught me that sequence, you know. And you know, brotherhood too, you know, we had our ups and we had our downs, but you know, we always remained brothers, you know, and it was unfortunate that he got sick, and you know, we were able to spend some time before he passed. And matter of fact, the last time that we all were together, it was me, Diggy, Shadow, and Knighowl. Wow. And we spent some time together. Oh man, that breaks my soul, you know. For sure. You know, we ate some food, and and we hung out. And you know, unfortunately, what happened. You know, but I think he was one of those too. You know, he had his own sound. You know, he was a brave soul. You know, he was a brave soul in the studio. He would get in there and he would do what he wanted to do. You know,
yes, yes.
And you know, salute to him. You know, I'll love him forever, and I'll never stop. You know, respecting him and giving him his due.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. Rest in peace to the
Yeah,
late
rest
great.
in peace, bro. Love you.
So right now you're mentioning the telescope.
Yeah.
Right. I love the podcast. I love everybody you have on. I was wondering, what are your goals with your podcast?
I don't have any.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay.
I don't have any.
Yes, yes.
You know, I just go with the flow. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I just thought it'd be important to, you know, bring everybody and the name is the bait.
Yes, yes.
But
yes.
let's see who you are as a person. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's more important. You know.
Yes, yes.
I'm about to get the Diggy interview part.
There you go. Okay,
you know,
okay,
too.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, part two. Yeah, part two. Yeah. Okay, legend. So I'm introducing a new segment on Drinks with JD, right? And this segment is called "What Would You Bring?" Right?
What would you bring?
What would you bring? And well, the question is, what would you bring, right? Okay, so let me give you a background to the new segment, right?
Okay.
And well, you're the first person to try it on.
Oh,
so,
okay,
so,
okay, all right.
So let's see how it works.
All right.
Okay. So, Planet S.O.N, right? When I created it, it's an acronym for Planet 619, right? And in my mind, you know, as a fellow San Diegan, right? I love my city. And as I left and I started living in other countries and everything like that, I missed my city, right? But I only saw the positive things of San Diego, right? And yes, we understand that in every city, every country, everything around the world, there's negativity, right? So I wanted a place where I could capture and take all the positive things from San Diego and put them in one place. So me,
Planet
619, you know,
that's tight. That's a great visual you did for everything. That's dope.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. Planet 619 is all the positive things from San Diego.
That's
all
beautiful.
It is, right? So as now Drinks with JD alumni, right? You and your family now have a first class ticket to Planet 619. Right?
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, so here it is. So what would you bring, right? So you could bring anything from San Diego, right? Just one thing. It could be anything. It could be the ocean breeze. It could be palm trees, your favorite taco shop. It could just be one thing.
One thing.
But here's the catch. So it's what would you bring? But that one thing needs to positively affect everyone else on the planet. So,
Okay.
So legend, what would you bring from San Diego?
I would bring the burritos from the National City swap meet.
Okay,
and
there you go.
everybody eats.
There you go. All right. That's what
And
I'm
everybody
talking
eats.
about. Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
That's
there's
right.
only, like, till this day,
Yeah.
I go to the National City swap meet,
That's
to the
right.
little, you know, thing they have right there.
Yes.
And the potato and meat burritos.
And there you go.
Nowhere else
Okay.
can you get them. So if I could take anything from San Diego,
Yes. And it'll benefit everybody else.
it'll benefit everybody. Yeah.
There you go. Okay. I'm pretty sure the Planet S.O.N audience will love that.
Yeah,
You know, when
they
we're all
will know
together.
that. Yeah. Every time I'm there in line,
Yeah.
they're like, "Aren't you little one?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Okay.
I'll be here next week.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. All right. So, legend, your legacy is solidified, right? You're forever going to be on the Mount Rushmore of San Diego hip hop, right? No one could take that away. You're forever enshrined. But when it's all said and done, how do you want to be remembered in hip hop?
I again, you know, I respect the category of hip hop because it's a part of me.
Yes.
But I would rather be remembered as someone that evolved as a person
I know.
more than anything. Because to be honest with you, there's a great percentage of my music that I don't consider what everybody else considers it. There's a big chapter of those albums that I look at it like a player on the field that was injured, but he was still making touchdowns. But if he wasn't injured, they would have been, you know what I'm saying? It would have been different. So, I mean, I would like, if anything, I guess the right answer, the honest answer would be that I was fearless when it came to recording.
Yes.
And I still am.
I know.
Like, I've made rock records, sad records, happy records, spooky records, Spanish records. You know, sometimes I listen to it, what was I thinking? You know what I mean? But fearless.
That's what I'm talking about.
Fearless, absolutely fearless.
No doubt, legend. No doubt. That's what I'm talking about. So I noticed that you only released hard copies of the album, and they're not on a digital platform yet. Why that approach?
Well, as I've evolved, you know, you become conscious of other things. You know, to me, at this point of my life, releasing music through the digital platform would be like dumping a glass of water in the ocean and thinking you're making a difference.
Makes sense.
You know, there's another 5, 10, 11, 20, 50 million people doing what you're doing. I've spent a lot of years giving out music, you know, and the climate of music, the way that it is right now, it's congested beyond belief. So I figured I approach my art differently now. It's art to me.
That's right.
So I'm going to cater to my fans and the people that support my music. And I'm going to make it available to the planet too, but through my platform. And if they want to get it, they can get it through me. And if they don't want to get it, that's fine too. You know, but to me, releasing music, you got to remember the attention span, all of that. Like right now, if I would have released this, it would have meant nothing already. Everyone would have shouted it out for 2 weeks and that's it. I get DMs every day. Where can I get that song you did a video to? MrLittleOne.com. Oh, it costs this much? Yep. Okay. I can't. Okay.
That's fine.
That's fine. You know, but you have to put value to yourself in what you do.
That's right.
No matter what you do. I've already given them 20 plus years of music. You can hear other songs if you want to, but this one, that's what it is. You know, so I'm putting value to it. I'm keeping the equity of it. I'm not gonna, you know, just let it roam in the planet and lose its equity and lose its value because there's so much out there. You know, it's like grabbing your CD and throwing it in a box where there's 10 million other CDs. You get lost in that music.
Makes sense.
You get lost in that shuffle, you know what I'm saying? And I released a lot of dope records that I felt could have done more, but the congestion didn't allow it to. So I'm gonna filter out the congestion and cater to my fan base and be like, this is where you can get it. And my fans that are my fans are still buying it right now. I sold out on the first batch already.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so in 1994, you sat in the offices of Ruthless Records, right? You sat with Eazy-E and
Jerry Heller.
Forgive me. And they wanted to sign you because of your talent, right? Shortly after, Eazy passed away.
Yeah.
And sometimes when stuff like that happens, people get discouraged and unmotivated. And they sometimes take it as a sign of, you know what, I'm gonna quit. You know, where what could have happened, that people could have taken that approach. However, you took the approach where now you have a legendary career. Now, can you talk about, let's say, the motivation and that drive that you had to continue going? Because even though it didn't happen in 94, guess what? Your now classic album debut album in 1996 dropped. And that only takes stuff that's in you, right? So I was just wondering if you could give some mentorship, some advice to people who are currently feeling unmotivated, maybe a little discouraged, maybe just tell them to just keep going. I don't know I just wanted to ask if you could tell them about that drive.
The crazy thing about everything you just said is that I never had 10 seconds of discouragement when all that happened.
Wow, that's amazing.
Never.
Yes.
It was like, okay, I'm gonna do this anyway.
Yes.
You know, I think the only disappointment or discouragement that people can feel or attach to themselves in a situation like that is the external imagination that they thought they were going to get from that. I'm going to be famous.
That's right.
I'm going to be rich.
Yes.
I'm going to have women. I'm going to go here.
Yes.
So what is it really that you are discouraged about?
That's right.
What about the music?
That's right.
The music should stay with you regardless of that. But that's what discourages people.
That's right.
The imagination, psychological time. People create this narrative in their brain.
That's right.
People create this planet in their brain of everything they could be based on distortion.
Yes.
Art is not about that. Art comes from a different place. You know? So when people feel like, I'm not making money, I'm not famous, I'm not on the radio. Somebody wrote me the other day and he said, you know, I feel like giving up because I don't have the capital. And I said, what does capital have to do with your music?
That's right. That's right.
What does money have to do with your passion for music? If you're making music because of money, you're going to fail.
That's right. That's right.
Because you're in it for all the wrong reasons. If you go to any professional baseball player, football player, hockey player, Olympic medalist, if you go to their parents' house, you will see trophies and pictures of them doing that sport when they were this big.
That's right. That's right.
Had nothing to do with money. Had everything to do with passion. Right? So discouragement comes from that narrative we were talking about.
That's right.
From that data we were talking about. From that expectation we were talking about. From the imagination. From what is fed to us.
That's right.
Oh, you know Dr. Dre. Look how people change when they know you affiliated with somebody.
That's right.
Look how people treat you differently when they find out you have something.
Yes, yes, yes.
Look how people are willing to take their mask off and put another one on under the illusion of what they think you are.
That's right. That's right. Or how many followers you have.
Or
Right?
how many followers you have. You know, we
That's
are
right.
just the experiencer experiencing the experience.
Yes, yes, yes.
You know, I've seen so much fabrication, so much hypocrisy in my life, you know, and at one point I was part of that.
Yes.
You know, like, you know who I am, or, you know, I'm over here,
Yes.
or I'm doing this, or I'm at the airport. Like, who cares
That's right.
where you are? You know what I'm saying? But I was caught up in that. And those are the things actually that made me engage in excavation, because I didn't like how that felt.
Yes.
It's a fraud. It's all fallacy.
Yeah.
If you're not making music, whatever camera's watching me, because of art, you're in it for all the wrong reasons, and you're gonna self-destruct.
That's right.
It's like anything else. At first, when I started training, it was so I could look a certain way. The more I trained, the more it fed my spirit. The more it internally helped me.
That's right.
I went from being alert to being conscious. When you're alert, you just learn how to survive. When you're conscious, you learn how to self-expand. So now when I go and I train and I'm in the gym, I don't look at it to see if my arms are bigger. I know that my life is going to be longer.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
So like they say, since we can't give, you know, more time to our life, how about we give more life to our time?
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
You know?
Okay. No, I respect that. I respect
Some
that.
will understand that and some won't.
Yeah. Hey, well, in the end, how we were saying,
Heal, recognize, heal.
heal. So the healed will understand exactly what
You
you're
know,
saying.
and
Yeah.
another thing that's important is cars, chains, likes, validation, praise, DMs, inboxes, all of that stuff all comes from a bad place.
That's right. That's right.
You know, if that is your focus, then your focus is blurry and distorted. When you get clarity,
Yeah.
that comes to you from a different place, from a pure place. When you sprinkle purity on anybody, it doesn't matter who it is, and years go by,
Yes.
that purity will never leave them.
That's right.
They will remember that because we're outnumbered. There's more bad people than good people, more
Yes.
fake people than real people, more unhealed people than healed people.
That's right. And that's why, like the saying, he'll recognize it because you recognize that. Oh, okay, I see you.
Yeah.
I see.
You know what it feels like to be around somebody that's on your frequency.
Exactly.
That's why I don't go around people. That's why I don't go places. I don't like being out because I know the contamination. You know what I'm saying?
Makes sense.
Our mind is like a piece of land.
Yes.
And because of that narrative and that distortion and these temporary gratification, moments that we have, most people wake up with the same toxicity they had the day before as soon as they wake up.
Yes.
So if you have a bad thought, within 5 minutes you have 10 bad thoughts.
That's right.
Within 20 minutes you have 100 bad thoughts. Now your mind is like a piece of land and a crop full of bad thoughts.
And then you're spreading it out.
And then you're spreading it out. That's how
Yes.
you think. That's how you speak. That's how you behave.
That's right.
It's like a person that apologizes to you and breaks that apology because they don't get what they were hoping to get from that apology.
That's right. That's right.
Apologies come with no buts. You know
It's
what
a
I'm saying?
period.
It's a period.
That's it.
Change behavior
That's right.
speaks louder than words.
Amen. No doubt. All right, legends. So before we end this, can you please let the audience know where they could reach you as far as social media, also where they could hear your music, and also where they could get your latest album?
I only have one social media platform.
Okay.
At Mr. Lil One 619. I don't have no Facebook. I don't have no Twitter. I don't have no Snapchat. I don't have no fans, only fans. I don't have none of that.
All right, fair enough.
I don't have none of that. I have one platform, and that's Instagram.
Okay.
At Mr. Lil One 619. Now, as far as my music, my catalog, you can find it on any platform.
Okay.
I'm going to take it all off soon, but that's part 2.
Okay.
Decade 2.0, you can only get at MrLittle1.com.
Okay. All right. That's on time. All right. Well, before we end, do you have any shout outs?
I want to shout out every human on this planet.
There you go.
I want to make sure that everybody continues to dwell in the galaxy and liberate yourself and free yourself from the contamination and the binds that humanity has put on you, and make sure that you remember that you can live a liberated life if you want to.
That's right. That's right. No doubt.
Very easy.
There you go. There you go. Well, I like to end my interviews with a cheers.
Hey,
So if we could just cheers,
let's go.
I'm appreciative, legend. Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you for
here.
having me.
I'm truly appreciative.
Great setup.
Thank you.
Your
Thank you.
family's awesome. I
Thank you.
appreciate you very
I'm
much.
appreciative.
And let's do it again. Oh, you got to come to my podcast.
Fair
next.
enough. Fair enough.
All right,
Cheers.
cheers.
Thank you. Thank you.
daygo